All right, so this is my Week 10 NBA Power Rankings. I am a day late, but we're going to just do the Power Rankings as if the Tuesday's game have not been played, just so I can keep all my stuff, the same, not have to worry about having a long week and then a shorter week. We're just gonna act like yesterday's games did not happen in this video. So starting off, we got a lot of injuries this this week, like we do usually. Ben Simmons is going to be out for about 2 more weeks, he said, so we finally got a real timeline there. Pacers got Jalen Smith and Andrew Nembhard back, so that's good there. Mitchell Robinson is going to be out for the season now. Originally just said about 8 to 10 weeks, but now he's going to be the whole season. Mavericks should be getting Maxi Kleber and Kyrie Irving back potentially this week. Pistons got Jalen Duren back. The Hawks got Jalen Johnson back, but now have DeAndre Hunter out for about 2 weeks there. Gary Payton could be back this week. He's missed about a month. DeLon Wright is back now for the Wizards. Jordan Clarkson's back for the Jazz. Lakers, Gabe Vincent's going to be out for about 4 to 6 weeks. He's hardly played at all this season. Been injured a lot. Torrey Craig for the Bulls is going to be out for about 4 to 6 weeks. He's a pretty solid rotational piece for them, so that's going to hurt him a little bit there. Grizzlies got they got Marcus Smart back, and then Luke Kennard could potentially return this week as well, along with Derrick Rose. So they're finally getting healthy now, and they've been doing really good with John Morant. So yeah, those are my injuries for this week. Let's get started here at number 30. We got the Detroit Pistons, who are 2-27. Went 0-2 during the week and now have lost 26 straight games. They did lose yesterday as well, so that's actually 27 straight games now. But for the sake of the video, they've only lost 26 straight games, and we'll talk about them more next week with their record-breaking loss. At number 29, we got the Charlotte Hornets, who are 0-2, are 7-20 overall. They're just not a good basketball team if LaMelo Ball is not playing for them. They're not really a good team with LaMelo Ball anyways, but he definitely helps them to be at least an entertaining team to watch. At number 28, we got the San Antonio Spurs, who are 4-24, went 0-3 this week, are not a really good team right here. I got the same stat leaders as we got last week, just getting every team's leading category there, and Victor Wembanyama is going to be on most of these here for the Spurs. At number 27, we got the Portland Trailblazers, who are 7-21. Went 1-2 this week. They're just not a really good team either. I do expect them to probably trade a couple of their guys here. Probably Malcolm Brogdon, and potentially even Jeremy Grant could be on the trade block up here soon, because we only got about 6 weeks left before the trade deadline. So we definitely could hear a lot of trade talks and stuff coming up over the next couple of weeks. And I would expect the Blazers to be big-time sellers. At number 26, we got the Washington Wizards, who are 5-23, went 1-1 this week. They're not a good basketball team right now. Have 5 wins overall so far. So obviously they're not one of the best teams in the league. I don't really got to say much about that. But they're just not a great team. They did not play horrible this week. They lost to the Warriors by 11. That wasn't a bad game for them, but then they only beat the Blazers by 1, and that's their 2 games this week, so not a good week for the Wizards. At number 25, we do got the Brooklyn Nets, who are actually 14-15, so not a bad record for them. They just cannot stay healthy. They're 1-2 overall this week. They really need Ben Simmons back. Not that he was being a really good part of their team, but I feel like just having him on the team definitely is benefiting you guys, at least on the defensive side of the ball. So that's definitely a piece that you guys be wanting back on your team. At number 24, we got the Toronto Raptors, who went 0-3 on the week. Specifically, they lost to the Nuggets by 9, Sixers by 10, and the Jazz by 7. So they had pretty close games overall this week. Just, the overall look of being 0-3 is not a very good look for them. Now sitting here 7 games below 500. Going to drop them 5 spots in my rankings. They're just not a great basketball team right now. I would not be surprised if they try to ship away Dennis Schroeder or Pascal Siakam at this trade deadline. At number 23, the Atlanta Hawks, 12-17 overall, 1-2 this week. They're just a mid-team overall. Trae Young's been playing pretty solid. I have heard that DeJounte Murray could potentially be in some trade talks, which I would not really like if I am the Atlanta Hawks. I would try to keep this core together for another season, probably try to trade Clint Capella rather than trading DeJounte Murray. But if you can get a really good package out of Murray, then I guess try to maximize his value there. But this is only his second season with the team. I would like to see him be there for a whole 2 seasons at least. At number 22, we got the Chicago Bulls, who went 2-1 on the week, or 13-18 overall. They have been rumored to be massive sellers at the deadline. Zach LaVine is supposedly being targeted by multiple teams, along with DeMar DeRozan. Haven't heard much about Nikola Vucevic, but I would assume he's also on um, trade radars, and definitely Alex Caruso probably as well. So they definitely could probably be blowing up this team at the trade deadline if that's the move they want to go to. But they've also could have been doing that the last probably 2 years at this point, but they just have been too stubborn and don't want to really mess with the core of this team. But I think it's about time that you probably try to see what you can get out of some of these guys. At number 21, we got the Memphis Grizzlies, who went 3-0 on the week. Um, they got John Morant back this week, and he's been playing really good for them. Not shooting threes very well, but averaging 28 and 9. And he hit a game winner in his first game back for this team. And they're 3-0 under John Morant, which means John Morant currently has more wins this season in 3 games than the Detroit Pistons' entire roster. So that's kind of sad for the Pistons. But, definitely good to see that the Grizzlies are winning now with John Morant on their team because, obviously he's like one of the best players in the NBA. So as long as you guys can continue to have a hot streak right here, you'll definitely get your way back up into the playoff picture. At number 20, we got the Phoenix Suns, who are now 14-15 and are 0-3 on the week. They're not a good team if they are not healthy. They have not been healthy hardly all week. It's really sad to see this for the Phoenix Suns. They got good players, obviously. They're not the best, not the most deep team, but their stars are really good. They're just not able to play all together, and since they're not playing all together, it's hurting their bench. Their lack of bench depth is showing through, and it's definitely not a good look for this team sitting here at below 500, about a third of the way through the year. At number 19, we got the Houston Rockets, who are 15-12, went 2-1 on the week, have been way better this season than most people thought they would be. And they got a really young group of guys with a couple of veterans in there like Fred VanVleet and Dylan Burks that they signed this season. So they've built a really solid foundation there, and they have definitely have potential to be really good in the future. At number 18, we got the Indiana Pacers, who are 14-14, went 1-2 on the week. I believe they've only won one game since the in-season tournament ended. So it's definitely not a good look for this team because they were thought to be one of the best teams because they showed really good promise in that tournament. But then since then, they've just been playing like garbage, really. But I do think that this team can probably turn it around and at least, they'll probably still get their way into the playoffs. And then once they get into the playoffs, they'll probably be playing more like they did in that tournament and look like one of the better teams in the league. At number 17, we got the New Orleans Pelicans, who are 17-13, 1-2 on the week. So they're doing pretty solid so far this season. We've got a lot of different guys that are doing pretty good for them, and Ingram, Valanciunas, Zion, and CJ McCollum. So their big four right there is doing really good, and they got a pretty deep team as well. So I do think this Pelicans team should be definitely should be a playoff team. I just don't know if they're going to be able to do a whole lot in the playoffs. Maybe make it to the second round, but probably not. But we'll see. At number 16, we got the Utah Jazz, who are 12-18 overall, so definitely a worse record than a few teams below them. But they're 2-1 this week, and I believe they were like 3-1 or 3-0 last week. So last couple weeks they've been playing really solid. They lost to the Cavs by 8. They beat the Pistons by 8. And they beat the Raptors by 7. So definitely not best week for them, considering they played 2 bad teams and got wins there. But as long as you can beat the bad teams and keep close with the good teams, this Jazz team could potentially be on the look for a play-in spot for them. And Larry Markkinen is looking like he could be be an All-Star again to add on to his All-Star of last season because he's averaging nearly 24 points and 9 rebounds a game. So he's playing really good for this team. At number 15, we do got the Los Angeles Lakers, who are 16-15, 1-3 in the week. Again, like the Indiana Pacers, they have not been really good since the in-season tournament. So I don't know if it's like some in-season tournament fatigue where they were trying like really hard in those games, and then they're like, okay, now we can slack off a little bit because we won the in-season tournament. Because ultimately that does not. It does not account for anything other than just a regular season win. So the championship wasn't even a regular season win. So all of those games, sure they matter, but they don't matter any more than a regular game. So the fact that these teams are playing a lot worse right now, I don't think they're just slacking off because they won the in-season tournament or did really good in there, but it's probably just some fatigue because they played extra hard in all of those games, and then now they don't have the exact motivation to play as hard as they did, so now they're ending up losing games. At number 14, we got the Cleveland Cavaliers, who are 2-1 on the week and now 17-13 overall. So their first week here without Evan Mobley and Darius Garland, they're actually playing pretty solid and went 2-1 on the week. So Donovan Mitchell is going to have to carry them to a lot of wins, which he did a solid job of doing that this week. If they can, win two of the three games every week, they'll definitely put them in a good spot to be still in the top five or the top six seed of the playoffs. So they don't have to be in the play-in tournament. So as long as they can keep above the top six while Darius Garland and Evan Mobley are out, then they could potentially make their way back up to a top four seed and get home field advantage in the first round. At number 13, you got the Orlando Magic, who are 1-2 on the week, are 17-11 overall. So they're still way better than people thought they would be at this point in the season, but have been pretty underwhelming here the last couple of weeks. Because 2 weeks ago, I think they were probably in my top five power rankings. Now they're dropped all the way down to 13, but still not a horrible spot for them at this point in the season, considering their expectations going into the season were probably to be missing the playoffs. At number 12, we got the Dallas Mavericks, who are 18-12. We're 2-2 on the week. They've been decent. They really need Kyrie Irving to get back, and then they'll probably go back to being one of the top teams in the league. They did really good on their Christmas Day game against the Phoenix Suns, where Luka dropped 50 points and they beat them by like 14 or something. But they haven't been too impressive without Kyrie Irving in the lineup. Luka's been doing Luka things, but the rest of the team is just not good enough to be a top seed in the West if you do not have Kyrie Irving in the lineup. At number 11 here, we got the Golden State Warriors, who went 3-1 on the week, jumping up 10 spots in my power rankings here. Main reason because of that is because they've been playing really good basketball this week, even though, 3-1 isn't like amazing, but considering who they have played and beat, they beat the Celtics here by 6, beat the Wizards by 11, beat the Blazers by 20, and then the only loss they have this week was to the Denver Nuggets by 6 points. I believe that was on Christmas Day. So did a really, really good week, beating one of the best teams in the league in the Boston Celtics, and then beat some bad teams, but they got their needed wins there. So I think they've been playing really solid this week, and if they continue to do that without Draymond Green, Klay Thompson's been playing like a different I've been playing like 2019 Klay Thompson without Draymond Green in this lineup. So without Draymond Green right now, they're playing really good basketball. If they can continue to do that, they'll definitely be in my top 10 power rankings in the near future. At number 10 here, we do got the New York Knicks, who went 2-1 on the week, are 17-12 overall. Also a pretty solid record so far this season. 17-12 is not anything too special, but it's definitely a pretty good. They looked pretty solid this week without Mitchell Robinson, so that's a good look for them. Taj Gibson is someone they signed to give him some more backup center minutes, and he's been playing really solid this week. So that's definitely a good addition there to help try to replace some of the minutes you're losing with Mitchell Robinson. At number 9, we got the Los Angeles Clippers, who went 1-2 on the week. Not the best week for them, but they're still not playing horrible basketball right now like they did when they first acquired James Harden. So it's good to see that they're at least getting some victories here. They've been playing, pretty solid throughout the last month or so. So nothing too much to complain about for this Clippers team. And I do think that this Clippers team will probably be a top 6 seed come playoff time and have a good shot to make some real noise in the playoffs. At number 8 here, we got the Sacramento Kings. Going to drop 4 spots here after going 1-2 on the week. Are now 17-11. Not a bad record for them overall, but this week they did not play particularly great. They lost to the Celtics by 25 points, then beat the Suns by 15, so that's a good win there. But then lost to the Timberwolves by 12. So even though their 2 losses were to 2 of the best teams in basketball, they weren't necessarily close losses by losing to the Celtics by 25. That's not a good loss there. So that's why they're going to move down here 4 spots, even though their 2 losses were to 2 really good teams. At number 7 here, we got the Oklahoma City Thunder, who went 1-1 on the week, are now 18-9 overall. For the Thunder this week, they beat the Clippers by 19 and then lost to the Lakers by 9. So, they lost to a decent team in the Lakers, and they beat a good, decent team in the Clippers. So they played solid team. I would say the Clippers and Lakers are both good teams. Um, Lakers are just a lot more inconsistent than some other teams. But so losing to the Lakers is not exactly a bad thing for them, and they still been playing really solid basketball at this point in the season. At number 6 here, we got the Philadelphia 76ers, who went 2-1 on the week, are now 20-9 overall. So for the Sixers, they beat the Timberwolves by 14, beat the Raptors by 10, and lost to the Heat by 6. So they beat the best team in the league in the Minnesota Timberwolves. So that's a really good look for the Sixers. They lost to a good team in the Miami Heat. So nothing too much to complain about for the Sixers this week. They just played pretty solid basketball and happened to lose one game against a good team. Then at number 5 here, we do got the Miami Heat, who went 3-0 on the week. Um, one of the few teams to go undefeated this week, went 18-12, or are 18-12 overall on the season. They got Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero back, so now with two of their best players back, it makes sense that they went undefeated during the week. For the Heat, they beat the Magic by 9, beat the Hawks by 9, and beat the Sixers by 6. So they played pretty solid basketball all week long. That's why they're going to move up 5 spots here in our rankings. At number 4, we got the Denver Nuggets, who went 4-0 on the week. I believe them and the Heat are the only teams to go undefeated this week. So that's good for them. Gives them a total record of 22-10. They've been pretty good since Jamal Murray has came back into the lineup. And this week specifically, they beat the Raptors by 9, the Nets by 5, Hornets by 7, and the Warriors by 6. So they were all single-digit wins. So that's their only cause of concern is that they're keeping all these games close, even though these teams aren't necessarily great teams. But the fact that they still are able to come out on top and get the win is definitely something worth noting and worth praising them for. And that's why they're going to move up 3 spots here. At number 3, we got the Milwaukee Bucks, who are 22-8, went 3-1 on the week. They've been one of the best teams in the league all season long. They didn't start off great. Damian Lillard started off, very inefficient, but since then he's been playing really good this season. They beat the Spurs by 13 this week, the Magic by 4. They beat the Knicks by 19 and then proceeded to lose by 7 on Christmas Day to the Knicks. So that Christmas Day loss is definitely tough to swallow for them, but you're not going to be too upset when you're sitting here at the second seed in the Eastern Conference and you've been playing really good basketball at this point in the season. At number 2 here, we got the Minnesota Timberwolves. They're going to fall off in their number 1 spot here. They went 2-1 on the week. Not a horrible week for Minnesota Timberwolves. They lost to the Sixers by 14, so that's not good. But then they beat good teams in the Lakers by 7 and a good team in the Kings by 12. So not a bad week for them. They just happened to lose one game to a really good team. Much like our number 1 team here in the Boston Celtics, who also went 3-1 on the week, 23-6 overall. So they lost one game this week. Timberwolves lost one game this week. The only reason the Celtics are moving up is because they blew out their opponents in their wins here. Because the Celtics beat the Kings by 25, beat the Clippers by 27, and then beat the Lakers by 11. So they had really, really good wins this week. When the Timberwolves just had a couple of good wins, but no great wins. So that's why the Celtics are going to jump them here this week. But both have been really, really good teams. Definitely both teams are the best team in the conference right now. I would expect them to be one of their best, to be one of the top 2 seeds in their conference by the end of the season. But of course, there's a long season ahead of us, so anything's still possible. But right now, let's get to my top performers of the week. I'm not going to talk about everything, but let's talk about how John Morant put up 34 points and had a game-winning shot in his debut game, so that's really good there. Giannis had a triple-double with only 11 points, so definitely interesting there that he only had 11 points in that game. I believe he was like the 5th leading scorer on the team, or 4th or 5th leading scorer on the team in that game, but triple-double is triple-double nonetheless. Damian Lillard dropped a 40 piece. Anthony Davis had a 40 with 13 boards. KD had a 40 piece. Embiid dropped a 50 piece with 12 rebounds, and then had a 31, nearly a 31-point triple-double with 4 blocks in that game. Andre Drummond had 12 points, 8 boards with 5 steals and 2 blocks in only 19 minutes. He had 7 stocks in 19 minutes. So that's really, really good for Andre Drummond in that game. Anthony Simons topped a 40 piece. Domantas Sabonis had 2 different triple-doubles. Tyrese Halliburton had 29 and 15 assists. LeBron had a 40 piece, shooting 5 for 5 from 3. Luka had a 30-point triple-double, nearly 40 points. Brandon Podziemski for the Warriors had had 5 steals in the game, so that's good there. Anthony Davis. Wait, hold on. No, no, I already said Anthony Davis, so never mind. But let's get to these. We had a couple Christmas Day games I wanted to highlight here. Luka dropped 50 with 15 assists and 7 stocks on Christmas Day. It's a really good performance from Luka there. And then Chemizi Metu, of all people, for the Suns, nearly had a 20-20 game. He had 23 points and 19 boards on Christmas Day for the Phoenix Suns. So really good performance for him there. But yeah, let's get into my last thing here, which is going to be the award races. So right now, out of the main 6 awards, I'm giving you the top 5 in every category so far. So right now for MVP, we got Joel Embiid, Nikola Jokic, Giannis, Shea, then Luka Doncic at number 5. So right now, Embiid is our MVP front runner. For Rookie of the Year, Wemby is certainly our front runner with Holmgren right behind him. Then you got Jaime Jaquez, Brandon Miller, and Ozzer Thompson to fill out the top 5. For Most Improved Player, right now we got Tyrese Maxey followed by Alperen Sengun, and then Kobe White, Scotty Barnes, and then Tyrese Halliburton there to round out those. For Sixth Man of the Year, we got Austin Reeves followed by Tim Hardaway Jr., Cole Anthony, Malik Monk, and Bogdag Bogdanovic to wrap that up. For Clutch Player of the Year, we got Damian Lillard, Tyrese Halliburton, LeBron, Steph Curry, and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. So you got Tyrese Halliburton here and Shea here in a couple of different categories. And then for Coach of the Year, we got Chris Finch of the Minnesota Timberwolves, Mark Daignault of OKC Thunder, Jamal Mosley of the Orlando Magic, Rick Carlisle of the Indiana Pacers, and then Ime Udoka of the Houston Rockets sitting out there. I do think Chris Finch is by far the lead Coach of the Year right now. But yeah, that is my NBA Power Rankings. Thank you for watching this video. Make sure to come back next week for an updated Power Rankings list. And make sure to watch my NFL video. That should come out later today.